Hello and welcome, my name is Haas, and this is a preview look at the one and only Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft, the new and upcoming collectible card game from Blizzard Entertainment that is currently in a closed beta and will be free to play on launch. Now, I imagine most of you have heard quite a bit about this game already, as it has been blowing up in popularity as of late. But why? Why do people seem to be so excited about this title? Well, let's have a look at what it holds and why it is indeed so awesome. First of all, as the name would give away, it is a Warcraft title. Although it has nothing in common with the Warcraft RTS games or the MMORPG World of Warcraft in terms of gameplay, it is of course sharing the universe. And that idea in and of itself alone is a big factor why it is so popular. And frankly, it does it really well. You start out by picking one of the signature Warcraft characters as your deck class. There's Jaina the Mage, Thrall the Shaman, or Garrosh the Warrior. These are all iconic characters from the universe, and they all have quite a few impressive voice acting lines for various situations. Beyond flavor, these classes basically decide what kind of hero ability you will have, which is a 1 time per turn, 2 mana cost ability. For, say, Jaina, it's as simple as firing a 1 damage fireball at whatever enemy you please, or for Thrall it's summoning a random totem minion. In addition, these classes also limit what kind of cards you can use. Hearthstone features a fully customizable deck, and a large part of the type of cards you can use are limited to classes. Now, those cards, too, of course, are all based on the Warcraft universe with bits of recognizable lore and more fan-made additions. That's of course nice and all if you're into the Warcraft universe, but even if you aren't very familiar with this universe, it should be quite obvious as to the amount of sheer quality that already is in this beta title. The playing fields, the arenas in which you will hold your epic card battles, are all based on known Warcraft zones. There's Stormwind, the human capital, or Stranglethornville, the ganking capital. These playing fields look quite impressive, and an interesting though completely pointless feature is that they are all interactive. You can load up cannons and fire them in the distance or start breaking stuff in Stormwind. All utterly and completely pointless, but a nice quality addition regardless. The card art itself is in large part all borrowed from the old Warcraft TCG that is now sadly reaching its end. No doubt in large part due to Hearthstone, but this does mean the card art looks impressive. Moreover, the actual combat and spell animations look fantastic, which is something you don't see all that often in a card game. There's a ton of different animations that all suit the various different spells, with major ones wrecking the entire playing field. Lastly, remember that I mentioned the hero classes all have good voice acted lines? Well, even the normal cards do. They all have their catchy summoning, attacking, and dying sounds of course, and some of them even interact with the different classes, such as summoning Illidan while fighting a druid, which is of course Malfurion Stormrage. Essentially, Hearthstone is just incredibly impressive in terms of quality, which is to be expected from a Blizzard game, but that doesn't diminish how awesome that actually is. Playing Hearthstone is incredibly satisfying with impressive spell animations and audio cues, not something you can say all that often from card games.
That was a mistake.
The second big reason why Hearthstone is so impressive already is its accessibility. Hearthstone borrows a lot of ideas from different card games, sure, but plays entirely differently and is really easy to get into, while still having quite a number of interesting tricks you can do with your card combinations. So it's easy to see why this appeals to the masses. For starters, there are no specific card phases in Hearthstone. As soon as you jump into a match, the game decides whether or not you go first, and then you have the option of doing a partial mulligan or complete one if you want to. From that point on, when it's your turn, you can basically play cards in any combination you want, though obviously doing this optimally is key to victory. And it's really not difficult to figure this out. You also aren't fussing around with mana generation. Every turn you get a new mana crystal up to a maximum of 10, and that is that. You don't need to draw into cards that give you mana, though these do exist in spell form, and you don't need to worry about the enemy locking you out of your mana either. Place cards whenever you want to, attack whenever you think is smart, and fling spells at your enemy or allied creatures whenever you feel like it. Though doing this in the wrong order will probably mean you're going to lose, you don't have to wait for an attack phase. In addition, the game has a really nice pacing and rarely feels slow because of it. Hearthstone is an incredibly fast card game. Creatures you summon will get destroyed or locked out quickly, and boards go from being completely filled to near empty within a few seconds. Damage on creatures is quite high, and all damage taken by them is not regenerated normally, so don't get too attached to them because you'll be losing them a lot. The pacing of Hearthstone is really nice and fast, and matches therefore rarely take long, but they also aren't at all confusing. It's pretty much always clear what has actually happened, in large part due to the good visual animations, which themselves are also really fast. So even if you missed an animation, you can even see the card history to your left. In short, Hearthstone definitely deserves the positive attention it's been getting. It's an incredibly accessible, fast-paced and highly satisfying card game with great quality to it. No, it won't be for everyone, but it'll do just fine for the vast majority of people, I'm sure. With that being said, this has been a first preview / rant on why Hearthstone is so good. I'll no doubt be making more in the future. My name's of course been Haas, and I'll see you in the next video.